Hi, everybody. I wanted to share an article I found about street intimidation on the Dutch Telegraph. And this article, I won't translate everything for you, but this is the gist of the article. The Amsterdam City Council wants to end street intimidation. Good luck with that. For example, if it comes down to the College of Mayors and Aldermen, whistling will be made punishable by either a 4,100 euro fine or 3 months in jail, says the parole. It's based on a research project that interviewed about 1,000 women in the last year, and they report one or more cases of street intimidation. And these include wolf whistling, hissing at people, calling out to people, aggressively asking for sex, following, and touching or being cornered. It claims that among women from the age 15 till 34, 83% suffer from these things. Now, first of all, if you're not 18, you're not a woman. Just 15-year-old women. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. So that's the first thing. Now, what I find obviously very frustrating is the fact that this research interviewed women, not just 1,000 people, maybe 500 women, 500 men. No, 1,000 women. So why are they focusing on women? Now, obviously, it's because they want to include into the category of street intimidation, besides the following points: being followed, being touched inappropriately, um, or being cornered, wolf whistling, hissing at people, calling out to people, and aggressively asking for sex. Obviously, these are of a more sexual nature than the previous ones, besides maybe touching inappropriately. So they want to include this as a form of street intimidation, which can be punished by a fine or 3 months in jail. And that is just beyond me. Because, for example, wolf whistling, it's just not something that seems to be deserving of a 4,100 euro fine or 3 months in jail. When it comes to these other things like calling out to people, which is something like, hey baby, nice ass, something like that isn't done with malintent. I mean, there may be rude and something that you shouldn't say. I would never say something like that. But it's a form of compliment that is quite direct and can be perceived as rude. But to say that this is a form of street intimidation, that seems ridiculous to me. Now, aggressively being asked for sex, this must have been 1,000 women in the red light district, because I have never asked a woman for sex directly on the street, and I've never done it aggressively. And all the women that I know, some of which actually live in Amsterdam, wouldn't say that they've ever been asked sex on the street, let alone aggressively asked for sex on the street. Now, they obviously agree that sometimes they're wolf whistled at, but they brush that off as okay. That's a rude compliment, but okay. And hissing at people, what is that? Being angry at people is a form of street intimidation. Now, I remember a few weeks ago, actually, I was in Amsterdam, and there was a guy riding on his bicycle, which Dutch people do, especially in Amsterdam, and like this uh, immigrant Turkish guy on a scooter um, was annoyed by this man for some reason, and he started screaming at him and well, not physically fighting, but arguing with the guy on the street quite aggressively. He wasn't punching, but you could see that he was about to, if that guy did anything to undermine his authority, the authority of the immigrant guy, he would have punched him. And this guy was, I think, 65, maybe 70. He was an older guy. Now, the fact that people do this and the fact that we don't want this to happen doesn't mean that we should throw these people in jail. People get angry for all sorts of reasons. When I ride my bicycle, or usually when I'm riding my motorcycle, or I'm in the car, I can be really pissed off at people, especially when I'm on a motorcycle, because some people just don't pay attention and they cause imminent threat to my life just because they're driving their car like a moron. So obviously this kind of thing can aggravate somebody and make them call out to people and say all sorts of stuff to them. But being thrown in jail for 3 months for doing that's ridiculous. Seriously, that is absolutely ridiculous. Now, when it comes down to the wolf whistling, I think everybody can agree that that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. I have to pay 41. Why 4,100 euros? Why not 4,000? That is crazy. Or why not 100? Maybe if it's 100, that would be a reasonable amount. Even though I think it's stupid that people feel offended by being wolf whistled at. But if you have to put a fine on it, which I wouldn't go for, 100 euros would be more than enough. Not 4,100 and 3 months in jail. 3 months in jail. Imagine that. Beautiful woman walks by. This male urge just comes up, and you go, and she laughs, and somebody sees that, reports you to the police, and you're in jail for 3 months. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. So yeah, I just where is it going with our country? This is why I started this channel. This social justice warrior, these retarded restrictions on freedom of speech have been going on in the U.S. for years, literally for years. Okay, not decades, but for years. And now we see the same thing happening in the Netherlands, and I find this really frustrating. I mean, what is going on? What is happening to my country that people are suggesting this as a good idea to stop street intimidation? People will intimidate. That's just the way things are. What you have to do is protect yourself and don't find yourself in such situations. Try to avoid the red light district. Try to avoid those places in the cities that you live in that are, places where criminals hang out, where rude people live. Don't go there. Avoiding that will make life a lot more easy. You won't be complimented in such a rude way. Oh man, this is just ridiculous. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I don't know when, but at some point I'll make another video. See you later.